Thank you for joining me, Pierre. Welcome to the
Mike.
show.
Thank you very much. Really happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to interviewing you, and because obviously we met each other before, and I've learnt some good information from you.
Thank you.
I thought I'd dive in and just ask like how we got into customer service and how you became a customer service expert. What was your journey?
So my journey was more than 10 years working in hospitality industry. So I've done a bachelor degree in tourism and hospitality management back in Paris. I've been working in various luxury establishments in UK, obviously in France, where I'm originally from, but as well in China, a bit in the US. So I've always wanted to start my own business, mainly within the 3 years before I started it. It was really an idea I wanted to flourish. It was more a question of when was the best time to do it. And beginning of COVID was definitely the best to do. So the main reason why I decided to become a customer service expert and trainer is because I realized that customer service is definitely not something only allocated to hospitality businesses, but that all businesses dealing with clients have in common. And the main thing is not only that they have it in common, is that it's crucial for their business success and their business growth. So when I realized that, I was like, the need is there. It's quite of a rare breed, become a customer service expert and trainer, but the needs are definitely there. And yes, I think that once you realize, one, what it includes, and two, how to use it effectively so it makes both an amazing impact on your clients and on your business in the long term, then that's really something more than useful for most businesses. And that's how I came to start that. So now it's been 3 years, and yeah, it's been an amazing adventure since then.
Yeah, because a lot of people think that customer service is more to do with complaints.
Yep.
So when things have gone wrong,
Definitely,
and
yes.
something you teach is it's not just at that point that you need customer service. It's from the beginning.
Definitely,
of the customer journey.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole customer journey. So customer journey starts from the moment the audience starts to hear about the offer. So even before a potential client starts to get in touch with the business, and it ends up even after the service being provided, because there's so many opportunities in this last stage. So once you realize those three phases, before, during, and after, you realize that the opportunities around your customers are much more than just making them satisfied or dealing with complaints, like you say. It's about selling effectively, managing expectations effectively during the selling process, sending the correct message out there so the expectations are perfectly set even before they get to you. But then as well, how to get more from your clients by generating this trust, by being able to building a relationship where you're not anymore the person selling and they're not anymore the person receiving the service, but there's much more around it. And finally, what methods you have before, during, and after to kind of get, again, the best from your clients in terms of conversions, in terms of client satisfaction, in terms of them, how much they spend with you, but as well, customer retention, positive feedback, leaving reviews, feedback and recommendations, etc., etc. All these are testimonials that they will say not only as a proper feedback, but they will say in their personal circle, because actually we get so many customers coming to us without knowing that actually they've been recommended by your previous clients in those informal conversations. You want to be in those informal conversations. So once you realize that customer service includes all this, you really see the perspective that it's really not only improving your customer service for the sake of it, but really so it makes an impact on your clients and on your business. So it's really customer service with a business perspective. For example, one of the main things I say is that customer service is not about making all your clients happy, because you're not going to be able to do it. Customer service is about managing your clients effectively so they always remain an opportunity for your business rather than a threat. Which means that your business is protected, your business is always secure, and you make the best impact on your business. So it's really a business approach of customer service and not only a customer approach.
Yes, because a lot of people, they get for example, they do customer surveys after the customer has been with is receiving service from them, but they do it in a very superficial way.
Yep.
I mean, is that something that you teach? Is it to make use and really look at what the customer is saying rather than just doing a survey for the sake of it? I think that's what I mean.
No, I mean, that is such an important question for one reason. First of all, many businesses, they ask for survey. Already the approach is, they ask for reviews, pardon me. The approach is already wrong, because if you ask for a review, it means that already the goal of getting clients' feedback is already wrong, because the goal is, I just want to have 5-star on Google review, on Trustpilot, whatever it is, so I can attract more clients. But that is not the primary, sorry, I cannot say this word. That is not the first goal of asking clients' feedback, because you have the wrong mindset if you do that. It means that you constantly look to attract new customers rather than taking care of your current and former customers. Feedback approach, feedback methods, proper feedback proper ways of contacting your clients in terms of asking for feedback is a method to really know what your clients felt, what did they really experience, what did they like, what did they like less, and what did they dislike, sorry, so you can just improve moving forward, know what works well, and know what could be improved. So you constantly improve your offer, and you are in an approach of continuous improvement for those clients. So if they come back, the service are even better, but as well for the current and future clients you'll be having. And in the other end as well, you are having an approach where you're saying, I care for your genuine feedback. I care for what you really felt when I provide your services, because I care for you as a client. I don't only care for you to give me a 5-star review, because that is a wrong approach with the clients to say that. When you say, can you give me a review? First of all, one, you will be only asking the very happy clients. So you will not be asking all clients. But two, you're sending the wrong message. You're literally telling them, I only care for you to give me a 5-star review, nothing else. So because you need to remember as well that all happy clients, they may still have specific things they were not happy with. So you still want to know that. And again, what amazing relationship of trust you will be building post-service if you have this approach. I want your genuine feedback because I care for you. And again, you are having a specific approach of caring for your current, the one you're having, the future one you'll be having, but former clients, these specific ones, by saying that's how I approach you. That's how I generate trust. That's how I care for providing services of quality, because I'm constantly looking to improve. So you will just generate much more trust from those clients, and you will plant this seed in their head, where when they will have those informal conversations, when they will face someone that were in the same situation than they were when they came to you, they will then refer you. They will then talk about you. So again, is this mindset, taking care of your current and former clients, rather than spending so much energy of constantly looking for new ones, generating business from them. It doesn't mean you cannot look for new clients and work hard in generating new clients. But this time, this energy should be equally split between those clients, those future potential clients, and those current and former clients, because they are still an opportunity of business for you. They are still an opportunity of improving what could be improved, and therefore generating more business. So really, the feedback approach do not only, I would say, illustrate the feedback approach, but it really illustrates the whole business vision in a way. And that's really important to understand that. So every time, that's going to be one of the first things I'll be asking, because it will give me an idea not only of how they manage feedback, but how they deal with their clients, how they see their clients, how they treat their clients, but how they see their strategy in generating business.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And you mentioned in your teaching and in your training about seeing things from the customer's viewpoint.
Yep.
Which is kind of similar to being treated like you would yourself like to be treated, isn't it? So how can a business apply that particular information?
Yep. Well, the first thing is to understand the different phases of the customer perspective. Again, if you understand that the customer journey is as long as from before they got to you to until after they've received your services, there's a lot of phases that you need to be able to analyze, to see with your customers' eyes. How your customers see your marketing strategy, how do they see your social media approach, how do you sell, what is your sales approach, how do you manage these expectations, give the correct information, ask the correct questions, etc., during the selling process. But as well, how is your website being tailored, being made? Because it's good to have a beautifully attractive, smart looking website, etc., etc. If the information are not clear, the vocabulary is not clear for the client's level of knowledge, remember that you're the one building the website, or you're the one being the main actor in making those decisions in building it, even if someone external is doing it for you. So you're the expert, your clients are not the expert, hence them coming to you. So is the information clear enough? Is the vocabulary used, adapted to their level of knowledge? Is the different channels within your website clear enough for them to be able to assess the inquiry, getting the information they want to get, understanding what they need to understand, etc., etc. So even the website is part of the customer journey. But as well, it's a little bit like your approach around the customers once they become your clients. Sometimes one of the first things I say to the audience, the different audience I train, is that you are providing your service on a daily basis. For your customers is a one-off most part of the time. Is you're the only person they're talking to for this specific inquiry there. So you really need to understand that this client is unique. And yes, you treat 10 clients a day, you deal with 10 clients a day, 10 clients a week, whatever it is. But it doesn't mean that you should start to become like almost like a factory where you just treat everything the same, you just do everything the same. Because you are on one side of the equation, service provider, but there's the other side of the equation that matter the most, your client side of the equation. You need to be able to see with their eyes. So the first thing you should do is treat their problems as if it were your own. Treat this inquiry as if you would be doing it for yourself. Just this mindset would really help you to see with their perspective, but as well, take time to understand the situation well enough. Take time to understand the level of knowledge well enough. Then take time to understand the expectations well enough. So it's all process that is a case-by-case basis, of course, depending on what type of business you're having, but you need to be able to spend spend enough time, ask enough questions, give enough information, but give enough care in your approach and your mindset you have all around your customer. So you can literally be in your customer's eyes. That is the key. And I think that's where on many instances, problems, dissatisfied customers, complaints appear, is because it's easy to say, oh, the client is wrong on that perspective, the client is not correct, but what did you do to be able to see with the client customer's eyes, to see with this perspective, to understand where something went wrong, where the expectation wasn't managed properly, where perhaps you should have guided the clients towards the good direction. Because if you don't do all this, of course, you'll have complaints, but then you will just see the complaint as it is. You wouldn't see the whole context and you wouldn't understand why it happens. So it's a really useful tool to be able to see with your customer's eyes. And it's not only through your processes. I think the number one thing you should be doing next to dealing with your customers the good way with asking the correct questions, extra, like I said, is as well, every decision you make around your business, always include your customer in any of them. Because customer service is a little bit like an iceberg. What the customer sees is only the image part, but there's so many things you do underwater that keeps the iceberg floating. So if you're not really asking yourself every internal decision you make, what will be the impact on the clients, that's where the client's perspective may be badly managed.
Interesting. I mean, would you recommend using something like, for example, if you have a business which has many employees,
Yeah.
Where you can't control necessarily what they're doing, how they're dealing with customers directly, would you recommend something like a mystery shopping service or mystery shopper service?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, that is a very good one. Definitely recommend a mystery shopper, but as well, I think, I mean, at the end of the day, you will still be able, as a manager, as a business owner, to monitor your team. I think it's a combination of things. It's providing the correct tool for the team to do the job, providing the correct training for the team to do the job, providing the correct environment, having the proper structure, procedures in place, etc., etc. Because sometimes that's where there's so much similarities between being a great leader and being able to deliver great customer service. The number one brand I've been working for in hospitality was Four Seasons, and this is the first thing I've learned in Four Seasons. And I think that's actually where the seed starts to be growing in my brain, where I started to think of doing this, running this business, is when I realized that the vision that Four Seasons were implementing was so important. It was take care of your team, they will take care of your clients. So I'll say, first of all, provide everything you need to provide to your team for them to be able to provide the customer service accordingly. Have performance review, have regular meetings, have regular morning brief, afternoon brief, whatever it is you need to implement to constantly keep the consistency high within your team, because obviously it's a whole different game when you have a team. It's not as easy as if you're by yourself. There's not a consistency. It's a lot related to management and leadership. So what do you put in place to implement for your team to perform well, and how do you monitor this performance? I think that all this should be done first before bringing a mystery shopper. And unfortunately, on some instances, when I'm being called by businesses to provide training, I think for so many businesses as well, it's kind of not too late, but it could have been done much earlier, or some other things could have been done. Sometimes I'm being seen as the miracle solution to them, to the business, but I realize that there's so many things that could be done better. And that's how sometimes they end up being my clients in consultancy or coaching. There's so many things that needs to be done next to training to be able to maintain this consistency within your team in delivering this customer service of quality.
Yeah. I mean, one of my bugbears is when you phone a business up and the receptionist is rude, or the person answers the phone and just says hello. And doesn't say who they are. I mean, what would you recommend? Would you have like an idea of what a good greeting would be, for example, on a phone?
I mean, that's a very good question. I think, first of all, well, good morning or good afternoon, depending, or good evening, depending on when you are. I think, I mean, the way I learned it in hospitality is good morning. Then you can say the name of the company. Let's say, I don't know, the Savoy. Good morning, Savoy Hotel. Pierre speaking. How can I help you? So that's the different phase. Good morning, good afternoon. Then the name of the property. So you're representing the brand straight away. Then you introduce yourself by saying Pierre speaking, Mike speaking, and then you say this very approachable sentence that is building a relationship of trust straight away by the approach, how can I help you? But then again, this sentence shouldn't be a recital, it needs to be genuine, and it cannot only be that. Then you need in your relationship to be able to just build this trust and generate a trust from the clients that you are there to help. And it's a lot about verbal and non-verbal communication. I did a live this week with someone I collaborate with. She's called Gemma, and she's a vocal coach. And we talked about that, the impact of verbal and non-verbal communication on customer care. Because I think sometimes that's one of this thing. I think I'll be saying it in all my training. It's very simple, is that as an individual, you represent the brand in the client's eyes. Once you, like you said, you're calling a hotel or whatever it is, or private medical company or an IT company, once you will be calling the person and the person is rude, you will not only say the person is rude, you'll say, well, it's kind of killing a little bit the trust I have in this business being able to help me out or being able to provide me services. So you will really see through that person the business. And that's where leaders, managers, business owners, and employees, they need to always keep that in mind. In the client's eyes, you represent the business. Whatever your status is in the company, whatever your role is, if you are interacting with the client and you're the main point of contact, you will represent the business. And that is really important to keep in mind before anything else.
Yes, yeah, that makes sense. And yes, being genuine,
yeah,
isn't it? Because you can say all the right things, but if you don't mean them, that can come across as well.
Yeah, because the genuine part will definitely be in your verbal and your non-verbal communication. It's quite hard. It's a very difficult thing to do on a daily basis. Mainly to be consistent in doing it. If you have a lot of clients over the phone, and again, you have emotions, you're a human being. So once you have a client that's been disrespectful to you, it's quite hard to move on with this, but there's specific methods to do that. You may not be able to manage your emotions, but you can manage the way they appear. You need to not take things personally. You need to remember you are in a working environment. So you need to be able to detach the professional you from the personal you, so you don't get personally impacted by this. But at the end of the day, like I always say, customer service is not about clients being always right. If a client, because if the client will be always right, then you will say yes to the clients in anything, which could lead to clients taking advantage, you not setting and knowing your limits properly, clients going towards the wrong direction and being difficult, starting to become a threat to the business, and at the end still ending up complaining, etc., etc. But I would say as well, the client is not always right, because it's not because you're a client that you have the being a client should never give you the right to be disrespectful to someone. And I think that's the number one thing, is that I think when we talk about setting your limits, that should be one of the limits. If someone is disrespectful, I even on many instances, I talk with my audience when I deliver training about how to handle those disrespectful behavior. And if someone is disrespectful, you should be able to say, I'm sorry, sir, I'm sorry, madam, but right now you are being shouting, you are being disrespectful. I will have to hang up the call. Please call me back when you are ready to have a normal conversation. Thank you very much. And you hang up. Yeah, you have to do that. You shouldn't be disrespected by someone.
Yeah.
And customer service, though, is really important in bringing this customer care. It doesn't give the right to a client. And I see sometimes those videos online, those things, or I've been seeing it throughout 10 years of my career. Clients will think they can get away with being disrespectful just because the environment for them to do so. And that should not happen, because I think that is when you stand for your business, you stand for your brand, you stand for your employee, you should be able to set this limit. And being disrespectful is definitely going above this limit.
Yes, yes. A common situation is where a client might send you emails, lots of emails at all times of the day and night. What is the best way to deal with that? Should you answer the emails when they come in, or just leave the email until the morning and train them to just email you at certain times?
Definitely not answer them all. If they send 5-6 emails a day and they send those emails on unrealistic times, you just reply to one and you reply to everything that's been said. But you cannot only do that. You need to, sometimes it's a little bit about having those courageous conversations. And I will even recommend to not only have those courageous conversations by email, but over the phone. Maybe you can just say, once you see it starting to get out of hand, you reply to all those emails into one email. And then at the end you say, can we please have a phone call? Can we please have a call at some point? We'll need to discuss something with you. So first of all, you set the thing. Wow, they want to discuss something with me. So the client's already being like, oh, they may want to talk about something. And then you stipulate straight away. I'm sorry, but unfortunately, we cannot really work that way. We cannot receive that much emails. If you send us all this amount of emails, we will only be able to reply once or twice a day, because you're obviously not the only clients we have to deal with. And obviously, we want to deliver the service with the best care. So this is not something we can do in 1 or 2 minutes. We need to take time to answer all your queries, etc., etc. And not at any point we will be able to answer you out of working hours. So we will really need to make that clear that it's not an expectations you can have on that specific instances, because I think that if we let you think that you'll be the first one disappointed, so hence me addressing this to you. So you're kind of making it as I set my limits. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. It doesn't work this way. But as well, you make it as a way we work hard to provide service of quality. So answering your queries take us time. But then you make it as well about the client. You'll be the first one disappointed if I wouldn't be addressing that to you, because you will be like, wow, why do they don't answer me? So it's kind of a 3 phases. You set your limits, but the reason being is not only because you want to set the correct limits, but as well because you want to provide a service of quality. And because at the end of the day, if you don't address it, the client will be the first one disappointed.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I guess it's just, it's also about keeping, because you talk about keeping in touch with the client as well, making it personal.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've mentioned things like remembering the client's birthday,
mm-hmm.
and sending them a birthday message.
Yep.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Do you recommend, what do you think about emails and newsletters that go out? And obviously you can personalize emails,
mm-hmm.
But do you recommend also regular personal emails too?
Yeah, so that is such an important question, Mike. And I think the reason behind that is the misunderstanding that people got with newsletters. Sorry, newsletters, don't get me wrong, is important and should be done if you feel there's a use in there. But if you see it as your main CRM tool, then that's where something is missing in your CRM methods you are having and your vision around CRM. CRM stands for customer relationship management, and there's different phases. There's about keeping the relationship with the clients, giving the correct information to the clients, turn more sales into conversions, maintaining the relationship post-service, and marketing communications. CRM represent a newsletter represent that last aspect of CRM, which is marketing. CRM in itself, first of all, newsletters would only be opened by, on average, 20. Is obviously a very general number, and it changes from business to others, but it will generally be opened by 20% of the audience. And funny enough, if you want to increase that amount of people opening, you need to have other tools of other CRM tools next to that, because the leads, potential clients, current and former clients that will open your newsletter are the one where you've been able to plant this seed in their head, where you've been able to build this relationship where they're like, oh, Mike, Pierre send a newsletter. I'm interested to know about it. So you need to have done something else before that. You need to be able to have specific CRM tools in place other than newsletter. For example, specific pre-written emails that you can send that look like personalized. If you're a sole traders, even make them personalized every time you contact an email. Sometimes a good CRM tools can just be a simple way of reporting your leads, your current and former clients, and have specific actions for each of these leads, current and former clients. And again, if you're a sole trader and you don't have thousands of clients a month, that's something totally manageable. And then by making it personalized, by remembering, like you mentioned, the birthday of your former clients that are to you really important, and spending the time to send those emails would be really useful to maintain this relationship, to maintain this trust. Sometimes maintaining relationships through social media, finding out how they're doing after you provided your service to see the impact, and it would even help you to understand the impact of your services on your clients, etc., etc. All those things around it will definitely help you to build, maintain, and increase this relationship with your current, former, and to become clients, and make a best impact on them. And then your newsletter will be much more checked, looked at by the people that are part of your mailing list. But if you're only doing a newsletter, then you are only focusing on one specific aspect of CRM, not all the different aspects. So yes, newsletter is important, but no, newsletter shouldn't be the only thing to be done. And yes, all the things we will be doing will not only help you increasing your leads, your conversions, your clientele satisfaction, the trust, your customer retention, but will as well increase the effectiveness of your newsletter.
Yes, yeah, definitely, definitely. I find also making notes about the customer or prospect as well.
Yep.
Like, for example, you know, they might mention that they support a certain football team, for example, or they might have a thing, and then you can mention that in the email. I find that particularly effective.
That is a good
so basically, you're saying that, and I can see now, customer service and marketing is no separation. It is part of marketing.
I think that
Undoubtedly, and branding too.
Yeah, if customer service would be a circle and marketing would be a circle, they will, you know, like kind of be on top of one another on a specific area where there's a lot of similarities. And I think it's a little bit customer service will have the same with leadership and management. We'll have the same with sales. And I think that's the same with marketing. Marketing will have a lot of similarities with sales, with customer service. So it's a little bit like if all those topics will be at some points related to one another. And that's why you have so many similarities between those different topics, is because they include a lot and they have therefore a lot in common. And definitely when you improving your customer service, you will improve your marketing, your sales approach, you will improve your CRM methods, you will improve so many things that are definitely, for many of them, related to marketing.
Yes, totally. Okay, so we've come to the part of the interview where I ask you some informal questions.
Please do.
So if you're prepared, I'll fire away.
More than ready.
So being a Frenchman, this is an important question. What is your favorite food, favorite meal?
All right. So my favorite meal, well, I mean, I have to say one first is my partner's meals that she cooks very, very, very well. She's originally from China, and she cooks amazing Chinese food.
Nice.
So yes, I will say that even before any French meal. But if there's one thing I really love, and I'm always eating every time I'm going back to France, is steak tartare. A really nice made steak tartare with a really nice quality of meat, nicely seasoned, with homemade French fries next to that, or a little salad, to die for.
Okay, I'll have to Google that later.
Yeah, you need to like raw meat because it's literally raw minced meat, but it's always good quality of meat, and it's cooked in a seasoned in a specific way, and yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds nice. Favorite book?
One I'm currently reading, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That is, I don't know if it's Poor Dad, Rich Dad, or Rich Dad Poor Dad. Is in one way like this, but it's amazing, and I think it's so helpful to give you a great mindset, mainly when you're running a business and understanding how is all around money, but around managing money, around the approach to money, and around the vision to gaining money and becoming successful in life. And though it's not my only main goals, I think happiness comes before money. It's still a very good approach and a very good mindset to have, mainly when you within your first 5 years of running your business, such as I am.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Favorite film?
There's a lot of films I really love. I'm not going to go into the geek nerd sections because I'm a fan of Star Wars. I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings. But I'll say a little bit like life-related movies. So it's talking a little bit more to the audience who'll be watching. I really like Invictus. I love rugby, and I love the fact that it's related to historical moment, but as well a human moment. And as well, Le Mans 66, the same is related to racing. I'm not particularly, I like watching racing, but I'm not particularly fan of racing. It's not something I'll be watching as a as a hobby. But I just found the movie amazing because again, it's a human story behind it, and it shows you the reality, the reality of life sometimes and how things goes. And I really appreciate the friendship between the two main actors, mainly the scene at the end when the son is asking, when he starts to say, your father who died in a car accident is, and then the son says, your friend. And he says, yes, your friend. And it brings such a human, it brings such great human values to the movies that I think is so important sometimes in movies, is to have something you can relate to, bringing you those emotions that that you enjoy.
Yeah. Who stars in that?
You have I don't remember his name. You have Matt Damon, and you have the actor that used to play Bruce Wayne in Batman. That is a Scottish actor. I don't remember his name.
Oh, okay.
He played the English. So literally, the story is about Ford wanting to race in Le Mans, and this racer is very good, but it was the best of all time back in the time. But he was supposed to be first, but then Ford wanted to have the three cars together to go through the finishing line, so he ended up being second. So it's a real story all around it, and they're really good friends, but they're like a little bit like an old couple relationship where they keep having arguments. So the whole story is amazing. Really, really nice story.
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, so what services, going back to your services, so what services do you have available for people to use or or do you offer?
So the three services I have is training courses. So I got 5 different training courses focusing on customer service, but I do a lot of bespoke training courses because on any situation, I will always sit with the clients to understand their specific needs, to understand if they want specific topics to be included. So any of my courses I deliver, I always make them bespoke based on the client's needs. I made as well off-topics courses, sometimes some specific hotels, mainly for hospitality industry. They will want me to train them on leadership, on conflict management, and I can train on those specific topics because, again, like I said, they are part of the topics under the water, but still part of the whole iceberg of customer service. And if they are ultimately bringing a good impact on customer service, I'm more than happy to train on that. Then the 2 other services I provide is coaching, so sitting with business owners, mostly sole traders and startups, to see how they can improve something specific on the customer journey, increase their client satisfaction, manage clients more effectively, or just get more from their clients on a daily basis. It's a really case-by-case service. So I'm really making bespoke and start with an audit to understand how I can help them and then move from there. And then the final one is consultancy. So this one is much more hands-on from the type of help, where coaching is much more about advisory level. I still provide action plan, diary, and assist in giving feedback of specific things they'll be implementing between the coaching sessions, but it's much more on the advisory, where consultancy is me being much more hands-on in making specific studies, analysis, even being on site to witness the operations, etc., etc. And this one is totally bespoke. I have specific plans, but is really bespoke based on the client's needs as well.
Brilliant. And what is the best way for people to contact you?
LinkedIn, or directly on my LinkedIn, or directly through my website. I'm really active on LinkedIn, and I get a lot in touch with potential clients on LinkedIn. So feel free to get in touch on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay. I'll after the interview, and when the show's uploaded, I'll put the links below the podcast and the YouTube video.
Thanks for that, Mike.
Yes, and thank you for being a great guest and giving lots of great valuable information that I think every business needs, whether digital or bricks and mortar.